Okay, here we are at the Homecoming Car Show, and actually where the AMC cars were built on the site. And I am with your name.
Hi, I'm Tom Delaney from San Diego.
Wow, Tom, how'd you find out about this?
Well, I've been coming to AMC events for some time. I'm the president of the Southern California chapter of AMO, and I just love coming to Kenosha. I grew up in Lake Zurich, Illinois, which is about an hour away.
Did any family work in the plant at all, or any connections there?
No, but in hindsight, had I known in 1984 when I graduated high school, I could have come up here and worked for AMC at the end of the run, before it ended in '88. And that would have been a cool story to tell. But, at that time when I got out of high school, I had other things on my mind.
Right. Well, what specific cars do you like from the AMC days?
Oh man, there are so many great cars. There's Gremlins and Hornets and AMXs, Javelins, Scramblers, Rebel Machines, and I'm particularly fond of AMX3s. That's kind of my niche. I love AMX3s, which was a mid-engine supercar that American Motors developed just a few of, but were super cool.
Why do you think they just stopped making AMC? Where do you know the backstory on that?
Well, from what I've read, and I got a stack of books at home I'm trying to work through about this tall, it seems like the automotive business was kind of a gamble. You had a year or two and you were making some good money, you were profitable, and then you had a couple years there things were in the negative. And when they were in the negative, they were like tens of millions in the negative. It was, some years were really hard hit financially. So you had to have, I think, a gambling mentality to be in the car business. But why did they end? Well, there were some mistakes along the way. Some people say that even though the Pacer sold very well its first year, it kind of just dropped off and it didn't pay for its own tooling costs. And it was unique. It didn't share a lot of parts. That's something George Romney was really trying to stress in the early 60s, was that you got to have interchangeability between different parts on different cars to spread your tooling costs around. And cars like the Matador Coupe were unique and they didn't share parts. So if you had a high expense tooling up for a car and it wasn't a success, there was no other car that used those parts to defer the cost to. Things like the Hornet sold real well. That was a great car for AMC. They sold a lot of six-cylinder Hornets. 1973 oil crisis, people were getting rid of the gas-guzzling dual-carb muscle cars. They just wanted to get to work from point A to point B. Six-cylinder Hornet cars like that, they made a lot of them. They made a lot of money off those cars. Then there was the whole Renault, the French connection. Some people say that was a good idea. Some people say it was a bad idea. But it ended, that's for sure.
Do you think it'll ever come back?
Well, we are standing at the Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood, and this was the site of the plant for American Motors and later the Chrysler engine plant when they continued the straight six. Nash got its start over there in the corner. There's a lot of history here. I would love to see it come back, but there are so many auto manufacturers these days because countries like Korea and China that were not producing automobiles when American Motors was running, they are now in the game. And so the industry is not isolated like it used to be, but some people might say the earth is flat and that it's a more even playing field, except for when it comes to imports and tariffs and things like that. But in terms of the technology of being able to produce automobiles, that technology is now more widely available. And the vendors that support the parts and the tooling to make automobiles, they're making cars in China.
Why do you, since there's so many people out here this week, why do you think the love or fascination of or an interest of AMC cars?
Well, AMC occupies a unique niche in automotive history, and it was the fourth largest auto manufacturer, but it was much smaller than the big three, Ford, GM, Chrysler, or I should say GM, Ford, and Chrysler. So the people who have attached themselves for whatever reason, maybe a relative or a memory, their first car, something like that, that connection is so strong because the vehicles are so special and so unique that we have a reputation in the AMC hobby for being extremely loyal.
And what do you think of the event so far this week?
Fantastic. I've never been to the Kenosha Innovation neighborhood before, but this is the first time I've experienced. It's like a big plus sign. It's an intersection of two big wide roads, and we filled in all four branches of this intersection on both sides and down the middle, hundreds and hundreds of cool AMCs. It's a fantastic event.
Well, we thank you so much for coming down to this event. Did you say you're a part of a chapter of AMC?
Right. American Motors Owners Association, or we call it AMO, has many chapters, and I'm the president of the Southern California chapter. Our website is socalamc.org, and we also have monthly Zoom meetings virtually, so people don't have to travel so much, and some of those get archived on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel called AMX Firehorse. If people want to see interviews with people like Tom Vance, who worked in the design center, or Ken Kanukin, who races AMCs, a lot of really interesting people have been on the YouTube channel.
Well, we thank you so much for coming down to this event. It's a great event today, and thank you so much for talking to us today.
Kenosha Voices rocks.
Okay, here we are at the Hometown Car Show, and I'm with your name?
Tim Vanderhoff.
Tim, are you from Kenosha?
Not originally, but yes, I married my wife here at the Jockey. Well, I met her at the Jockey Underwear Company, and so we lived in Kenosha many years, and then we went out to Kenosha County, and now we're back into Pleasant Prairie again. And it's the first chance I've had to come back to a car show.
Well, what did you think of the car show so far?
Oh, it's big, it's loud. You know, they're modified somewhat, but
that brings back memories. That's how the AMC cars were.
well, that's true. And I had a Javelin. It was teal colored. It was a beautiful car, but I wore off a pair of tires on the rear of my Javelin, popping the clutch too many times, and so I blew the gear. So I had to get another car, and I got a Gremlin. So I had two American Motors cars.
And so why do you think there's so many people here this week? Why do you think the interest is so high in AMC cars?
Well, this is the sacred ground, the Holy Land, right here where it was all built. And I came into this. It had already been running. Also, I had a brother who was a guard here as well, so I had connections here. I just wanted to rekindle what kind of car did my Gremlin feel like, and the Javelin. I had many a girlfriend in that Javelin, so I don't mean had.
Well, it's a great event. We thank you so much for coming out today, and enjoy the rest of the week. Okay, here we are at the AMC Hometown Car Show, and I am with your names.
Susan Chatterton.
Thomas Chatterton.
Well, I will say this. I'm looking at this car, and so is everybody else. It's a really, really neat car. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so it's a 1969 AMC Scrambler, and from what we understand, a guy named Keith was in the Air Force in San Antonio, Texas, bought this car, had it painted this crazy scheme in like 1969, 1970, and it survived. So it was a street racing legend in San Antonio, and then changed hands a couple times, and we were in the right place at the right time and got it about 3-4 years ago.
Now, are you guys from the area, or where are you from?
We're from
Actually,
Texas.
Yeah, we're from Austin, Texas area. Wow. I actually grew up in Kenosha my whole life, and then I moved out of the area in the mid-'90s and ended up in Texas.
Okay.
So we put this thing on a trailer and said, we're coming to the AMC Homecoming with the Scrambler, the Texas Scrambler. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, there's a lot of people out here today and this week. Why do you think there's such an interest in AMC cars?
It's amazing to see the young people taking pictures and asking all these questions about the old cars. And there are a lot of older people too. I am amazed to see this many cars over here. I've been to several ones, but not to this magnitude.
Yeah, I think it's because the history. I mean, we're back where the plant was, right? And it's there's a lot of history and a lot of connection to the community. And AMC has some kick-butt vehicles, and I think you're seeing it today, right? Really cool vehicles.
By the way, his dad worked for
Yeah, my
American.
dad actually retired from AMC.
No kidding. Wow, that's amazing. So, what? Obviously, you had AMC cars before. What cars did you have, or did you have?
The first AMC car that I personally bought was a Jeep Comanche. And then I've had Jeep Cherokees and stuff like that. And then I talked her into getting a couple AMXs, and then we ended up with the Scrambler, and then she cut me off.
Well, like I said,
I can drive. The next one, it's going to be automatic, and it will have air conditioning, and I'll drive.
Hey, all right. Well, we really appreciate you coming all the way from Texas to this. Well, what do you think of the event so far?
Oh, absolutely beautiful. Amazing.
We're so glad we came.
Yeah.
So glad. It's a lot of fun. We're meeting a lot of nice people, and we met somebody from British Columbia, right, that came down here with a couple AMC cars, and it's just it's a lot of fun, a lot of great people, and enjoying it.
I just met somebody from San Diego. It's like everybody from everywhere is coming to this event, so this is absolutely great. Well, we thank you so much for coming down to this event. It's a great event, great car. I love it, and thanks so much for talking with us.